I still remember waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning the day I'm going to have open heart, looking at myself in the mirror, it's just me, and just scared to death.
Aboard your mark!
So what was it like having an amazing season after all of that happened to you? Because you had one of the best seasons of Huntington.
When we were done playing at the end of the year, it was really hard for me to move on. I miss those guys. Every team, the guys are like a part of your family, but those guys were special. And I had a difficult time with that over the summer. In some ways I felt like I've lost a family member or something. But it was a special year to be one that I will never forget. I've never taken a team to the opening round that I thought could win it. And they sent us to Faulkner University in Alabama, which was the #1 ranked team in the country. And we got to the final game and just couldn't beat them. And so it was a special year. Our overall philosophy among the team is attitude, concentration, and effort. Because in the game of baseball, as I mentioned earlier, you can't control some days whether you win or lose. You can't control your batting average, but every day you can control your attitude, your concentration level, and your effort level. And to me, those things go beyond playing baseball.
My dad is, he's tough to play for, tough to coach for. He's very demanding. I wouldn't say he's the most positive person in the world, but that's a good thing, to be honest with you. When he's very demanding, but at the same time, he expects a lot out of you, and the reason why this baseball program is honestly so successful is because he demands a lot out of his players and out of his coaches.
So you found out you had some medical issues last year. Can you kind of explain how you found out and what happened after you found out?
I had been told that I had acid reflux. That's why I was coughing a lot. And but it got to the point, I parked out here in left field, and when I would walk up to practice to the third base dugout, I'd have to stop 2 or 3 times because I was out of breath. And my wife finally said, that's not right. And so we went to the heart specialist at Parkview. I had been there 6 months earlier for tests, and I was fine. So I met with the doctor. They put me on the treadmill and shut it down almost immediately. Put me in a room. Doctor comes in, says, you've had a heart attack in the last 6 months. I have no idea when that was. And he said, we're going to admit you. We need to put a stent in your heart. Admitted me. Next morning, went in to put a stent in my heart. Said that they couldn't do that. So I was going to have open heart surgery. And I had 4 days to kind of let that sink in.
Yeah, I almost went into a different mode. It was, how am I going to take care of my family? How am I going to take care of my mom if something happens with my dad? So it was definitely a scary time, but like any situation, when you go through a tough situation, you learn from it, and it actually helps you grow. So I kind of learned a lot about myself in that situation as well.
And I had blockage in one of my arteries, but the bigger thing I had, my left ventricle was going bad. So they did some things to that and fixed that. And so then you begin the long recovery back from that. And it's difficult. But you go through rehab, and every time it gets a little bit better, and you begin that process of trying to take care of yourself a little bit more. I've lost a lot of weight, and that's helped me. But it's definitely not something I want to do again. This experience taught me that I need to be abiding in Jesus. I need to be abiding in my faith. Because there'll be something else that comes along that I have to deal with. That's the way life is for all of us. And it's a daily walk that I need to get up every day and say, God, I want to abide in your spirit today. Whatever you have for me, you have for me. But I need to be connected to you in whatever happens. And I've tried to do that. Sometimes life jumps in, and the busyness of life, and you're like, okay, I didn't do that this morning. You know, I didn't take that time to do that. But that's what I'm trying to do. So, yeah.